We have kind of a pretty good assortment again here, for sure. Come on in. Just everybody? Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is it. What we'll do is I'll go around and explain all the things to y'all, and then afterwards you can go around and look at everything yourself, and if you have any big questions, I'll try to answer them for you. That way everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
This area here was to be Brother Branham's study, his office, as it were. That's what this little spot here was never really finished. Also, Billy Paul uses this as his study. That painting there is not original. That's the original of those paintings if you've ever seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't here. Brother Branham was here. We put that in here later. Anyways, that's the only thing in here that wasn't here. These are mule deer from Colorado. This is what Brother Branham was hunting every year when he would be hunting at the time of his anniversary, October 23rd. And that's just what he was after. They're indigenous to the western United States, kind of a common big animal. The one on the right here, this is the buck that he called Big Jim. This is the buck that he shot when the storm came down in Colorado. He spoke to the storm abated there. And he had shot the deer and was out looking for it. One thing or another, this is the deer. Pheasant here is from Iowa. Brother Branham preached a series of meetings there in Waterloo, Iowa, with Brother Gene Norman. He bought this there. Above the door there, those are javelina. That's where Brother Branham was hunting out at Sunset Mountain, all the different times he was there. They're actually not swan, they're pig, we call them pig. They're indigenous to the desert southwest here, and they run around in groups of like 3 to 30 or 40 sometimes. Brother Branham was very fond of hunting them, and they're all about like this, and that's what they look like. They're not anyway. The fish here, these are rainbow trout from the Salmon River in Idaho. The one on the top was the world record that Brother Branham caught in 1956. He talks about it on tape several places. He talks about it when he talks about the movie actress Marilyn Monroe and the movie she made about the River of No Return. It's a Western movie there, and the River of No Return is the Salmon River. That's what we call it. Anyways, that's the big one. That's another mule deer buck next to it. Next to it is a Rocky Mountain goat from British Columbia. In the corner there, that's a stone sheep from British Columbia. That's one of the 4 species of wild sheep in North America. It's the only one he ever got. That next animal there is an antelope from Wyoming. And then the big fellow there is the caribou Brother Branham shot with Brother Bud Softwood there. You can see that division of the 42-inch horns. And I know you're all familiar with that story, but if you go back and listen to, Brother Branham relates the vision the first time at the tabernacle, and he talks about seeing himself in the vision, shooting it. It was across the river or something, and he shot it, and they went over and dressing it and one thing and another, and then he sees them measuring the horns. And that measurement that he's talking about there's a series of measurements that you do, but the 42 inches that he's talking about is the length of the main beam of the antler, which is essentially the trunk of the antler. And when you measure it, you start down here at the bottom, right? This is called the pedicle or the burr. You hook on right here closest to the eye, and you go along the curve of the horn all the way to that point. And when you do that, you use a 1/4-inch steel tape measure. And because the horn is bent or curved as it is, you go along and you kind of pivot it as you go. And it's easier with 2 people. And in the vision, he's seen the boy's hand helping them hold the tape measure and measure it. As it turns out, that was Gwen Softwood's boy. He was 14 at the time. And, but this is it. It still measures 42 inches today. Tell people rifle all the time. There's not a whole lot of places you can go and see a vision, but here one is. Anyways, that's that. The guns here, these are all Brother Branham's guns. Most of these don't have a big story behind them because he doesn't speak of them, as it were, individually. You know, they were just his guns. People loved him. They knew that he loved hunting and shooting, so they would buy him a rifle or something. And this probably seems like a lot of guns to people from where you're at because they probably don't have a lot of guns where you're from. But it's kind of an American thing, and it's not that big a deal. So, anyways, there's two guns that we don't have here that Brother Branham had. One of them is Blondie. And Blondie is the gun he talks about shooting so much game with and everything. Uncle Joseph has that gun. It's in the display case there in Jeffersonville. If you're over there, boys know you can see it. Blondie was a gun. You see it, it's identical to this rifle here. He had two of them. And this is the newer one. He had a newer one that was much newer. Blondie was maybe 20 years older than this one. Blondie itself had an inlay here in the stock and in the forend, similar to these guns here. Brother Branham did that himself. He liked to mess with them, and that's something he did. But Blondie was kind of a common rifle of that era. Wasn't really anything special or anything. It was just a regular rifle, and he was certainly super fond of it. The other gun that we don't have here is the rifle that Brother Branham's first wife, Hope, saved the money for in the coffee can and told him about it when she was dying. Wanted him to go buy that gun he wanted. And that was a little Stevens 22 automatic small game rifle for hunting squirrels. And when she passed, Brother Branham went, found the money, bought the gun. And used it from essentially 1940 to 1950 squirrel hunting. It too was just a cheap little rifle. I just listened to it the other day. I think she'd actually saved $1.80 or something like that. The gun cost $8. Anyways, he used that gun up till 1950. And then in 1950, he bought this gun over here on the chair. And of all the guns in here, this is by far the most significant one. This is a Winchester model 75-22. This is in a series of guns that Winchester made kind of post-World War II, pre-1964. And they made bolt actions and semi-automatics, pumps, and whatever. But this is kind of a low to mid-grade bolt action rifle. This is the gun that Brother Branham squirrel hunted with from 1950 on. This is the gun he talks about, you know, sitting under the tree crying because his gun wouldn't shoot properly, and you hear all his friends out shooting, having a good time. This is the gun that he sent back to Winchester. Yeah. And they argued about how good it should shoot. Okay. This is the gun that out here at Sabrino Canyon. You've been to Sabrino Canyon yet? Been out there? Right where you pull into the parking lot there, right just next to that, there used to be a public rifle range there. And that's where Brother Branham used to go and shoot when he lived here. And that's where they were when he talks about on tape having the 3 thumbtacks and Brother Joseph shooting them in straight at 10 years old as a small boy. So shooting tricks hard to do. Yeah. And this is the gun he's using. Nice. This is the gun that Brother Branham shot all the squirrels that were spoken to existence with on 3 different occasions in Kentucky and in Indiana. It too is just a really common rifle. It's not a super duper deal. I've owned countless of these myself and never had one that was worth a hoot. Never shoot, never shot right. But anyways, that's what that is. These chairs here out of the den in Jeffersonville, you've probably seen the pictures of Brother Branham sitting in the chair with his Bible there. And then you have a picture of Brother Joseph in his lap. This is the grizzly bear that Brother Branham shot on the same trip as the caribou, same day. This is the silver-tip grizzly. There's several varieties of grizzly bears and brown bears and all that family there. But this is a grizzly. And like my dad was fond of saying, this is the bear that never was a cub. Because one second there was nothing there, and the next second there was a full-grown grizzly bear. So, yeah. Leopard there's from India. That crocodile there's from Florida. And he caught it on a fishing trip there. Kind of kept it in the yard there as a pet for a few years, 2 years. And it got that big. And anyways, now it's mounted. So that's where it came from. The mountain lion there come from up by Strawberry, which is up on the rim here by Payson, kind of in the middle of the state here in Arizona. Over there on that other limb, that's a bobcat that he shot on a deer hunting trip up by Cortez, Colorado. Above it on that other limb, that's the hornet's nest that Brother Branham run into with the lawnmower in the backyard there. Jeffersonville to come out after him and spoke to him and went back in the nest.
Aye.
Above the window there, those are 2 of the bucks that Brother Branham shot when he was on his honeymoon / hunting trip with Sister Branham and Brother Billy Paul as a young boy. And he was out hunting, shot the deer, hung in the tree, took off back to the house, and all of a sudden there's a deer hanging in the tree again. He does again, there's a deer hanging in the tree. In the center here, this table is one of those redwood trees from over in California. Brother Borders Church bought this and gave it to him to put in here. This bird is a golden eagle. This is about a 3/4 grown golden eagle. This particular one was hit by airplane over Porterville, California, and killed at the municipal airport there. And the game department confiscated it and had it mounted, and it was on display in their office there. And Brother Ben Bryant, who Brother Ben talked about a lot, okay, he bought it from him and gave it to Brother Ben and put in here. And that's where it came from. This floor is flagstone from up by Drake, up just north of Prescott there. And Brother Branham and Brother Banks Woods laid this floor. Different memorabilia, little things, the bows and hats and whatever, all just his things. Over here in this gun case, if y'all get a chance, you can each come by and look at it here, but these are some of his handguns also. And most of these also don't have a big, message, history lesson behind them. Really the only one that would be any significant to you would be this one here in the corner with the white grips. This is a high standard B model 22 automatic. This is the gun that Brother Branham purchased himself as a young man, and this is the gun he carried with him when he walked the power lines for Indiana Public Service Company. And he talks about shooting rabbits and squirrels and that for people that were on his route and giving them for something to eat during the Depression. This is also the gun when he parked the service truck on the side of the road and went to go across the field to go pray for the man. The bull jumped up to come for him. He said the first thing he did was reach for the gun, but he left it in the seat of the truck. That's the gun. This is Brother Branham's Bible. Okay, he had lots of Bibles because people would give him a Bible as a gift or whatever. But he had 3 that he used used over the course of his ministry. Brother Billy Paul has one, but this one, I have this one. This is his earliest Bible. This is the Bible that Brother Branham left on the pulpit at the tabernacle when the flood came through the tabernacle. It rose up to the ceiling and settled back down, never got wet. So that's the Bible. So, yeah. So y'all feel free to look around, and if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Okay. Thank you.
I've never done this that somebody didn't have some questions.